Today we will share 2 stories about near-death experiences. The first story is from a woman. He was suffering from severe asthma. On the way to the hospital, his heart stopped beating. He made it to heaven and met God. Let's begin our story today. I have suffered from asthma for many years. It was especially bad when the seasons changed. When it was severe, I had to be hospitalized. In the fall of 2001, it was very cold. It felt very difficult to breathe. My lungs stopped working. I didn't have the strength to speak. My children were used to my condition. Called the emergency number for me. Then, I passed out. My consciousness kept telling my body to get up quickly. But no matter how hard I tried, it didn't work. So I gave up. I took it all in stride. I now felt very calm and did not feel afraid. I was enveloped in darkness. I could feel my presence. I don't know if I'm in a tunnel. Because there I couldn't see anything. I began to move uncontrollably, faster and faster. I don't know how long it took, but there was light before my eyes. Here I was very relaxed. I saw a man in the darkness behind me. He was approaching me. It felt like this man was so evil that I just wanted to get away from him as soon as possible. I cried out to God for help. A few seconds later, an angel appeared in front of me. When the bad man saw the angel, he panicked and hid in the darkness. This angel was very tall. He was the most beautiful person I had ever seen. I was enveloped in love. This love was so pure and strong. Behind the angel, I saw a sight I will never forget in this lifetime. He had very long white hair that was wavy. It looked softer than anything I had ever seen. He also had a long beard that came down to his chest. His skin looked very healthy. He was so perfect. He was wearing a white robe with gold embroidery on the collar and sleeves. His eyes were very beautiful. I don't know how to describe the color of his eyes. I had never seen this color before. When I looked into his eyes, all the secrets of the universe were revealed to me. At the moment I looked into his eyes, I knew he was God. He said to me, "You have 3 missions left to complete, and you cannot return here yet." Then, 2 angels appeared. They were wearing similar costumes. They said, "Don't worry, we will go back with you." They took me on a flight through the universe. As we approached Earth, they disappeared. But I could feel their presence again. To this day, I can still feel them right next to me. When I woke up again, I found myself lying in an ambulance. They had put me back in my body. I had a tube in my nose that went up to my chest. There was a rubber bag next to me and a man was squeezing the bag. He was helping me to regain my breath. I grabbed his hand. He was shocked. I felt nauseous and started vomiting. The man rushed to help me reorient my head. I felt much better. When we arrived at the hospital, they gave me a shot. Slowly, I regained my breath. The doctors were amazed. It felt like I was a miracle. Because my heart had stopped beating. When I first came back, I was angry. Because I was back in a narrow body. God told me that I still had a mission to accomplish, but I didn't know what my mission really was. Sometimes, I even envy the old people who are dying. Because I know that there is a better life waiting for them. Just a better life in a different place. I miss that place so much. I want to go back. I think that's my real home. That's our first story today. The second story is from a lady who loves cycling. It tells the story of how she was riding when she suddenly fell ill. Then meeting her deceased loved ones in another world, and a city she had never seen before. Next, for you, the second story of the day. When I was 20 years old, I participated in a hospital-sponsored bicycle charity ride in honor of the woman who died of kidney failure. It was a hot morning. The weather became very dry. This made the ride even more difficult. Everyone had to work hard to keep up the pace. We needed to complete the 150-mile ride in 12 hours. When the race started, I sprinted to the front of the pack. But something unfortunate happened, and after riding for some distance, I got a flat tire on my bike. I had trouble changing the tire, and I lacked some repair tools. Until a rescue truck came to help me. I wasted about 25 minutes trying to change the tire. The crew in the car said that I was so far behind that they would have to end my ride. Unless I really gave it my all and caught up with the cyclist who was 4 miles ahead of me. So, I rode as hard as I could. Then the wind started blowing hard. Since I was alone and had no cover from anyone else, I had to take all the wind I could get. But I decided to catch up with the group anyway. 20 miles later, as I was driving on the highway, the staff forced me to stop. They said that I had made a valiant effort to catch up with the group, but they had to end my ride. So I got out of the car. I was very disappointed because I had been through so much in the last 65 miles. That's when I knew I was in trouble. I noticed that my body was starting to shut down. It felt like my vital organs were breaking down. There were 3 nurses in the convoy, and they noticed that my condition was deteriorating rapidly. But by then it was too late. I was dizzy and collapsed to the ground. I remember looking up at the beautiful blue sky, thinking to myself, my life is over, God, it's in your hands now. Throughout the whole process, I never felt afraid. In fact, I felt much more relaxed and felt like I was finally relieved. I have done so much for those around me through my involvement in many activities with charities. Yet, again, I felt like it was a cruel world. I was finally relieved to finally be free of this world. My soul was caught in a glowing tunnel. I was floating my body in the tunnel and moving extra fast, which felt really great. Although I didn't know where the end was, I didn't feel a bit of fear. I saw my deceased loved ones at a great distance. They were communicating telepathically, and that caught my attention. I could also communicate telepathically with my ancestors' minds. And I could communicate telepathically with many people at the same time. I also saw unexplainable sights, and some strange buildings. It was obviously not built by humans, but by some kind of supernatural builder. The city was very big, it was a perfect big city. They welcomed my arrival, but at the same time acted surprised. They didn't expect me to come here. One of my ancestors said to the person next to me through telepathy, "Why is he here? Is he supposed to be here now?" Just at that moment, an angel appeared in front of me. Asked me, "What are you doing here?" I didn't know how to answer his question. The angel said seriously, "Your time has not yet come. You have some unfinished business to do. Hurry back." I was going to refuse, but it seemed I had no choice. I hadn't had a chance to say goodbye to my loved ones. A powerful force pulled me backward. The light of the tunnel flashed from my eyes. I was back in my body. I felt the pain again. I was admitted to the hospital.